have a new thing.
What thing is it?
I'm gonna crumb.
I'm gonna crumb? Ew, that sounds so gross. Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. But as you've seen in the last video, we got the walls painted and this room looks pretty good. And if you guys have been following with the channel, you guys have recently known I have installed a Grimspeed intake onto my car. And you guys can already probably guess what's coming next. Yeah. So yes, today we're going for a little bit more noise out of my engine, and this bypass valve is fairly new for the FA20 models. Joe and Perry are also coming by to come check out the new space we have here. They really haven't seen it in person, so I'm really excited for them to see it for the first time. Let's see what we have in here. I already unboxed it, so I'm not going to do any full unboxing or anything like that. Bypass valve itself is packaged by Trey. Thank you, Trey. And we have a few pins and a bypass valve sticker. I'll probably just throw that onto the thing itself. Sorry for the mess. I'm still getting everything situated, so I don't have like any official shelves to keep my towels on or anything. I'm gonna have all this organized pretty soon. It's not always gonna look like this. But I already have the hood popped open. I'm gonna let the engine cool down. I really don't wanna work with any hot pipes or anything like that, so I'm gonna wait till this cools down and I'm gonna get started into it. While I'm waiting on them, I might as well just go ahead and get the car jacked up. Great, now I have the car off the ground. I actually made a little mess and dropped all these O-rings on the ground. But now we can get under the car no problem. I don't have any extra lighting for the ground right now, so I can show you guys what's going on, but I'll try and show my best on what we are doing with the install. Alright everybody, we are back. Joe and Perry just got here. And if you guys don't know already, Perry actually started a photography page called Wasted Time Media. If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description below. And we're going to get working on assembling the bypass valve before we start trying to take the new one off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get the bypass valve pre-assembled. With this bolt, there's going to be a hole. And by the time you get everything screwed in, you're going to have it fit through this nozzle. So to do this, we're going to grab a Sharpie and mark it to where we can see the hole through the nozzle, and we're going to use that for our marking point. Alright, we just marked it with a Sharpie, and there are 2 washers provided, so I just assume one is going to go on each side of the bolts. Alright, we got this fitted on. I didn't tighten this all the way just in case we had to do any readjustments when we actually put this on. Joe is going ahead and he is removing the rain guards, I believe, from under the car already. Alright, we got the lower rain guard removed and Joe is working on taking off the intake pipe right now.
So if you can see, we got the intake pipe removed. We are trying to remove the stock bypass valve. We got the worm clamp removed. We just need to give it a little elbow grease to get this off now.
But yeah, we got the stock bypass valve out, and you can just buy the 2 of them side by side. You can already see the difference of them.
We already went ahead and lubed up the bypass valve. Joe is just trying to fit it into the stock positioning now.
Joe's working on getting the bypass valve in. Cobb actually supplies you with a very long line, so we're going to have to cut this to make it fit. And we're going to refit all of those lines we took off before. Joe is working on putting back the intake pipe on right now, and after we will see how it sounds. I don't know if you guys have seen already, but Joe just got some new tires for his car, and he got them in a different spec fitment, and they look really good actually. These are the Michelin Pilot Super Sports. Wait, these are actually the same tires I have actually. Mine are in a 255 40s and his is in a 265 35. And if you can just see the difference of the meat before, his last set were in a 255 and they had a little bit of stretch on it. But now he's fitting the 265 on a 35 and they actually look really, really nice. Or me and Joe just finished placing it inside. We're going to do a first initial startup to make sure we don't get any CL codes or anything like that. And it looks good so far. So it is 2 weeks later since I put on the bypass valve. I wanted to test it out and make sure I wasn't like running lean or anything like that. And I was just watching the old footage when I was editing the video, and like I really don't know why I was talking like super hella fast. I think it was just cause like my friends were coming over and I was like super excited to show them the garage. Anyways, also shout out to Joe for dropping off these Michelin tires for me. I'm also gonna be in Knoxville, Tennessee, July 9th through 12th, helping my friend work on his Lexus. If there are any car events happening in the Knoxville area, let me know in the comments and I might check it out and come by. But before I go down, there are still a few things I need to do for the car. I still need to put on the IAG Street Air Oil Separator, and I also have the AEM 340 fuel pump, and I have a new thing of NGK spark plugs, but those are just like little nitty things I just need to get done as well. And I also have the Grimspeed electronic boost controller I need to install as well. Before someone says anything about me needing a tune, I already know if I'm going to be heavily modifying with the car this much, I'm already preparing for the future ahead and I'm going to have a tune prepared already. But my main thing I want to do is getting it running efficiently as possible before I make this road trip. I was meaning to get some sound clips for you guys. It's just I've been working around with my roommates and who's been off, and we haven't had like the same schedule off, and I wanted to get everything before daylight runs out. So Max is gonna be home real quick and me and him are gonna go grab these sound clips for you guys. The pop! We just got back from recording all of the sound clips of the bypass valve onto my car. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of how it sounds. And I wanted to thank you guys real quick. As you guys have seen in my past few videos, I have a little build series called Is It Worth It? And they have been doing tremendously well over my other videos, and I really appreciate the support you guys have shown through those. But back to the question, so is it worth it? Is a Cobb bypass valve worth it? Is $325 worth the money spent I paid on the bypass valve? But the bypass valve did make a sound. If you guys weren't able to tell with the intake, it was making like a whoosh. Now the bypass valve was making like whoosh. So it was definitely like a really nice sound improvement, and I also noticed a little bit more like pop out of my exhaust, just a little bit. It's just to where like you just hear the rest of the pops go and then that other one just sneak up on you. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Well, this question can be a little difficult. I know for some, I'd have to say it really depends on where you're at with your build and how far you've come. As of right now, I have all of the mods to fit into Ambot Tuning Stage 2 platform. So the bypass valve, the intake, and the downpipe with the TGV and EGR unplug, everything I have is supported under his tune. But depending on where you are, that $325 can be spent somewhere else. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the Cobb was a waste of money. I'm saying where you're at in your build can determine if the bypass valve was worth it to you or not. After me, that was actually one of the last things I needed to hit the rest of the parameters of my tune of what it can support. So for me, it was definitely worth it. But there are also some other options too. I believe Boomba has a bypass valve for like $180. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. And spending $325 on the Cobb bypass valve sure is a drastic difference. I mean, there are also other competitors out there like the Boomba bypass valve, but in many WRX forums I've read over time and time again that the Boomba has actually failed and caused boost leaks. So for the $180 Boomba versus the $325 Cobb bypass valve, sure, the price steep isn't a drastic difference, but I even paid it anyways just for the peace of mind. So if you absolutely have to have a bypass valve, don't be afraid to go with the Boomba one if you want to. It's either going to be a hit or miss. Some people are successful and some people are not. I definitely paid the extra money just for the peace of mind, and it is working tremendously for me. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. I really appreciate you guys sticking it till the end. Also, another reminder, I am going to be in Tennessee in Knoxville on July 9th through 12th. So if any of you guys happen to see me, feel free to tag me as well, and I'll be sure to shout you guys out. And as always, stay tuned for the next one.